ball goes in, we'll go over to the main arena where one of the main men of pool for many a year is about to take centre stage. Daniel Charlo gets his first rack on the board. Corey Jules' lead reduced to 4-1. So arms crossed, Earl Strickland looks as though he's feeling a little cold. Let's hope his game is red hot, because when he's on, even now at the age of 63, he is a joy to watch. His opponent from Orlando, Florida, Mike Delawder.
Have a great match, and you may like the break.
Phil, I am thrilled to do this match with you. Delawder, a great friend of mine. He's a great young man, family man, hard worker, has a great bank pool game. He could give Earl a run for his money here. Both of them are very strong personalities, so we could see a few fireworks.
Yeah, I think in recent years Strickland has been a little more subdued than he was before, but that's not saying an awful lot, because he was the definition of volatility, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's an understatement. Very odd form. Look at the 9. Is it gonna get there? Just held up. But he had a really awkward form there on that break, Phil. Like, had the elbow drop down in. Here's the flick on the 9.
I don't know whether you heard what Strickland said there. He said, why didn't it just go in? Well, the reason, it didn't quite reach. That's the reason it didn't go in.
Just a little short, Earl. Okay, pretty clever. Does he go into the 9 now, Phil? Or does he just stitch him up behind the purple?
4-9 Karam, Earl Strickland off to a stylish start. He does look a little restricted as he walks around the table, Scott. I don't know whether that's my imagination.
No, he does look a little restricted. That's a great word for it. I don't quite know what's going on with him. I don't know if it's intentional. It could be stiff. He does do a lot of running. His break form was very odd to me. I've not seen that, Phil. I don't know if that has something to do with him cutting the break. Maybe one of his many theories.
Well, the restricted movement and the way he broke off, is that an indication perhaps of a sore back? It's just speculation, but he did seem a little creaky there in that first rack. Mind you, he's got every right to be. It's 40 years ago since he won his first US Open.
Yeah, fascinating. Globally known as one of the greatest, if not the greatest 9-ball player of all time.
Well, he won the US Open the year that Los Angeles held the Olympics, and of course LA will host the next Olympics.
Look at this form. This is what I mean, he's got the elbow really low and out. The 3 down, the 1. Missed the side by some margin, Phil.
You know, it's coming up to that time of year when there's another US Open in this part of the world, the US Open tennis in New York. And one of the most intriguing US Opens ever was when Jimmy Connors at the age of 39 had that extraordinary run. And if Strickland could do something like that here and turn back the clock, it would create enormous interest.
Oh yeah, what a fascinating story that would be. And yes, I remember as a kid watching Jimmy Connors. And then here we go. Phil, Jeremy Jones on the split screen coming up, your counterpart.
Yeah, immaculate timing just as Jeremy pots the 9-ball. So that is table 2 action, and you can see all of it on TikTok. Just had a tap on the back from one of the legends of the game who has won his first match here today against Matt Cry. Darren Appleton, whose name is proudly engraved on this trophy. Great to see him.
Yeah, and we're looking for Darren to have a good week here. Carl Boys and I were just talking about him in the last match. One of my favorite players for the longest time, in my opinion. The best tactical player on the planet.
And I don't know whether it's because I'm getting old myself, but I love to see the veterans do well in any sport. Golf, tennis, snooker, pool, you name it. And it would be great if the stars of yesteryear really shone here.
Well, caught it a little fat, but still looks pretty good to me. But Phil, I can't help but notice what you're talking about, the movement, constricted or restricted, or both. Look at the cue. What is going on with the cue? Oh my goodness, how did I just notice this?
I'll tell you what it reminds me of, the cue, as Strickland takes a 2-0 lead. If ever you go to Las Vegas and you go into the Venetian and you see those gondoliers on those on those boats, you could use that to sort of propel tourists around that resort.
Oh, Phil.
So talk us through the butt end of that cue. It is the widest butt end of a cue I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I don't even know if that is legal. But he's got something figured out. Yeah, it's something of a joust. In the medieval days, maybe? Going back to that. I hope he doesn't hear us. Does he hear us?
I don't think so. I'll tell you what, he must be cold because he's sitting in that position where he looks as though he's been put in a beer cooler.
Yeah, there you get a good look. I mean, some sort of wrap, maybe a type of a golf wrap. But the cue itself is like huge in diameter. We're looking at the one behind these three. So he's got a whole array of cues here. But kind of speechless, I guess.
Well, maybe after this he's going to hire a boat and go deep sea fishing. Snag a marlin.
Yeah, this form is very strange. That elbow, the way it is, it's got something to do with the way he's cutting the balls, I think. He's not hitting them bad. That's for certain. The one is coming way long, but getting good action on them. So whatever he's doing seems to be working. The one does go quite long. This is twice in a row now. Is it by design? This will tell us how he's feeling. Doesn't need to do much with the cue ball, just go forward.
In all seriousness, he looks okay though, doesn't he? He's not performing badly. Oh, that one just snuck in.
Yeah, and he's left himself a little steep. I think he can just twist this in, maybe even with a touch of the left. Yeah, nice touch. No, he does not look bad, Phil, to your point.
The oldest winner of the US Open was Mike LeBron from Puerto Rico. I mentioned that earlier. 54 years of age. Could Earl Strickland, at the age of 63, shatter that record? You would say no, but boy, you'd like to be wrong.
You would like to be wrong. It would be an amazing story if this man could make it happen this week. I just can't get over the cue. I'm just being honest. I've got to find out how much that thing weighs.
Well, the scoreline is weighing heavily on Mike Delawder so far, 3-0 to Earl Strickland. Now, you've flown all the way from Finland and Norway respectively. You're out on table 13, and your first match goes hill-hill. That's Jani Uski and Mikael Ødegaard. Marcel Price on the hill against Brad Lewandowski at 8-5. Alvin Anjita going nicely against Christian Dimitrov at 7-2. Francesco Candela, consistent player. He's taken the first rack on table 12. Lee Van Corteza has won 2 in a row. He's now all square with Mike Deshane at 5-5. Phuong Nam Pham of Vietnam, he's taken the first rack. So too Payne McBride against Jeremy Seaman. The match we were watching for a while, Corey Jewell and Daniel Sharlov, it's now 5-1 in favour of Jewell. Marvin Assis from the Philippines, 2-1 up on Eric Picard. And João Grillo of Portugal, he leads Gregorio Sanchez 2-1. Pier Francesco Garcia of Italy 5-2 over Sean King, and Liu Riteng, who can play this game very handily. The man from Chinese Taipei leads Rick Miller 1-0. Jeremy Sosi on the hill against Jordan Holman at 8-3. And Nicholas Tan 7-2 up on Bethany Sykes. João Grillo, by the way, now 3-1 ahead. On table 23, just starting out, a really good player from Kosovo, Fitim Haradinaj against Max Watanabe. So, Scott, have you played Earl Strickland a lot over the years? And if you have, what are your personal experiences and personal recollections?
Yeah, we've played all sorts of tournaments. He's a tough man to play at times. Just, you know, sometimes the mental side. With his record as well, as great a player as he is and was, I think he's gotten the better of me most of the time in the rotation field. Where the one just continues to come very long. That's not really the plan for most of these guys. We haven't, to be fair, seen a lot of Mike Delawder. So we're finally going to get our first look there.
So we've said he's from Orlando, Florida. What's the pool scene like down there in the Sunshine State?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't spend much time down there, but I think he was actually playing that 3 rails. Mike, winner of the Derby City Classic Bank Pool Ring game this year. Another look for Earl Strickland. On the 1, the 2, questionable. He'd like to even get below the 2 here, Phil, if he could even draw over or roll it. He could stitch him up on the 9 if he can get this down. He's going to go defense now. It's okay. Should be hittable for Delawder.
By the way, if you're wondering what awaits the winner of this match, it is a toughie. The winner will take on Piers Laboutis in the second round. Laboutis having got a first round bye.
Yeah, Piers, really impressive player to me, Phil. Love his style, love his attitude. He's going to be around a long time. Phil, what do you think this cue weighs that Earl's playing with? Just give me an idea. What do you think it weighs? I'm going to find out.
Well, I'm not sure of the precise weight, but I will say this. I'd be very surprised if there was another cue in this arena right now that was heavier. What do you reckon, Scott?
Yeah, I really have no idea, but it could be in the pounds, not the ounces. I know he's got 2 pool cue cases with him. Delawder with a look, trying to use cover on the left. Yeah, he didn't really find it, Phil. Delawder, a player rep for Savage Billiard Apparel. And that's pretty classy. He's not happy with it. I don't know if Mike can see the top side of the one. And that should slow him down. Can you get a piece of it? Hard to tell. If you can get all of it, you might be able to get back behind the 9 and 2. I don't think you can see that much of it. Oh, this is pretty good. Strickland looking good early.
I'll tell you what, he's not hindered in the slightest by a 30-second shot clock.
Looking to go one rail, wants to get good contact here. Yeah, very good hit. Didn't turn out the greatest. Can Earl get to the left side of the table here and play that Bluetooth to the lower right?
Now, pardon our indulgence, but we've got a vested interest in this one. Come on, Jeremy, knock it in. Yeah, the 8's in. So the 9, having lost the first 2 racks to Holger Veer, for Jeremy Jones to draw all square. He doesn't miss those.
No, and he's the type of player, when he gets comfortable, well, he can beat anybody in the building. Speaking of anybody in the building, what a great shot by Strickland. You've said it, Phil. It would be an amazing story if this man could come through and do something special this week.
Yes, even if he just goes deep. We were talking about that Jimmy Connors last hurrah, if you like, at Flushing Meadow. It made such an impression on the sporting consciousness that actually, right now, over in Scotland, it's the Edinburgh Festival, the famous cultural and arts festival, and there's a one-man show going on in which the actor plays Connors during that US Open. A friend of mine, David Hendon, who commentated with us on the World 9-Ball Championship in Saudi Arabia, went to see the show, and he was telling me it's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, he's looking to wrap around. This ball will lengthen out, the cue ball here, so he's got to use a lot of low right. Yeah, and he's aware, watch it lengthen. And it's lengthened perfect. You want to maintain this big angle to get down here for the 9. Looking really good to me. Delawder, well, he hasn't had much, to be fair. You're going to come 1 rail out or 2? 2 rails. A little thin. This is missable on the fresh cloth. Harrah 860 Simonis.
How can you not be impressed by this? He's 63 years of age. He won this title for the first time 40 years ago, and he's played 4 really good racks there. He's in total command. Earl Strickland leads Mike Delawder 4-0. When was the first time you played him, Scott?
Oh boy, I played Earl back in the late 90s, probably the late 90s. I'll never forget the first time I played him was somewhere up in the Long Island area. I was very nervous. And I actually was straight shooter back in the day. And I believe it was 4-4 in a race to 9. The next thing I know, he made like some type of a sly remark under his breath, and it just scared me to death. I think he blistered me from there and beat me 9-4 or 9-5. We became good friends for a long time. I do like Earl. He's a good guy. Off the table. He's a genius in a lot of ways. Like all of us, he's had some struggles.
Yes, and it's not only pool in which he excels, he's also a very, very good golfer. He's won club championships at some really nice courses.
Yeah, scratch golfer at times, I believe. Was in great shape throughout most of his career. Played, like you say, played golf at a high level. Johnny Archer, also one that played at a high level. Notice the drop of the elbow here to where he's really got it bent out and the shoulders up into his chin. It's just an interesting form. The one continues to go to the same spot.
I'm not saying this is the case, and this might be an innovation because he doesn't shy away from trying new things out, but the way he's cueing could be he's got a stiff neck. I know that sounds really simplistic, but he's certainly got that hallmark, hasn't he? The way he's breaking off.
It's very possible, or maybe it's just part of his plan. I have no idea. Maybe we'll find out later. We'll have a good look at Delawder here. He is no slow player either. Needs to settle. It's going to be just fine. Looking good so far for not having anything to look at all, basically, in the first 4 games. Let's just come up towards the center. And this is where you really want to bear down. You can punch 2 rails out or just draw. Okay, he chose to go the 1 rail route. Phil, he had a little movement in the back arm there.
Yeah, that was decidedly twitchy. When you see players who are lightning fast at cue sports, the vast majority of them are nervous types. Former Mosconi Cup MVP Tony Drago springs immediately to mind. Look at that one there. The whole body, the whole being went into that 9 ball, but it went in cleanly. And so Mike Delawder has a rack on the board. Delawder laying down the law in rack 5. Jeremy Sosey's through, 9-3 over Jordan Holman. Carl Naderberg 9-2 over John Suders. Pierre Francesco Garcia 7-2 up on Sean King. On the hill, Nicholas Tan against Bethany Sykes at 8-2. Edward Bregu has beaten Riku Rompainen of Finland 9-7. Rompainen won 4 of the first 5 racks there. Yash Ashmira 5-2 up on Emil Andre Gangflo. Wu Kun Lin through without breaking sweat. Alvin Angito on the hill against Christian Dimitrov at 8-3. Corey Jewell now 6-1 over Daniel Charlo. Maybe Lee Van Corteza has weathered the Mike Duchesne storm. Corteza was 5-3 down, now he's 7-5 up. Francesco Candela 3-0 up on Mubarak Suleiman Al-Wahabi. Cody Booth from here in the US has taken 2 of the first 3 racks from Michael Boanan of the Philippines. João Grillo 5-1 over Gregorio Sanchez. And Fitim Haradinaj and Max Watanabe 1-1.
Yeah, what's the 8 going to do? It is going to get down. The 1 once again going high of the right middle. We'll take another look. Yeah, nice cue ball, actually, going into the 7-1 round. He's got an opportunity here if he can knock this one down. Everything else opens up. Yeah, not bad. Another little bit of a tester here, 4-inch pockets on the rail. And it wiped its feet big time.
I'll tell you what, he could dislocate his shoulder at this rate.
Yeah, I know Mike well. He typically doesn't have this much body movement. And just kind of let it fly there. I think the heart rate is way up, Phil. And I think he needs to kind of collect himself. This is really important.
He's clearly got a good eye though, hasn't he?
Yeah, very straight shooter. Believe this or not, I know you know the bank pool paralysis of the one Billy Thorpe. Oh boy, the body movement. This is what I was saying. It kind of builds, right? The closer you get to finishing the rack, the more the heart rate gets up. It's really when you got to settle. But anyway, Delawder capable of beating Billy Thorpe. They've played a lot of bank pool with each other. Another look at the miss and the body movement.
Well, I don't think it's close. I think that's the worst shot that Strickland's played so far in the match. Not played many bad ones at all, but that was a stinker.
Yeah, I don't really even understand. He was just, I guess, obviously trying to lay it down below the 9. But really, where do you think it was going to go? Well, it was well handled. He made the adjustment as he was down on the ball. Typically not recommended. Needs this to bounce. Ball speed is important here. You overhit this and it will not go. So far, Phil, everything holding steady.
He's entertaining to watch. I'll give him that.
He's full of heart, this young man.
In it goes, 4-2. Some more scores for you. Marvin Assis of the Philippines, 5-2 on Eric Picard. Dang Tan Kien of Vietnam trails Marty Sissia 2-1. Tim de Ruyter through without potting a ball. His opponent was a no-show. Liu Riteng 2-0 up on Rick Miller. Torsten Homan, twice world 9-ball champion, came through 9-3 against Jerry Havalazi. Jeremy Jones now 3-2 up on Holger Veer. Another contender from Greece, Alexander Kazakis, has taken the first rack from Tommy Kaya. Also wins for Marcel Price to tell you about. Jeffrey Rodder. Darren Appleton beat Matt Cry 9-4. Mark Vidal Claramunt is 2-0 upon Lucas Fracasso Werner. And Yanni Sikkonen and Jonathan Pinagar just starting out. Pinagar winning the first rack. I think it's fair to say Pinagar not the swiftest player in 9-ball pool.
Yeah, he's been known to play a little slow at times. Needs a flick on the one there. Thank you for those updates, Phil. Take another look. The one coming long again. The 3-ball down. Gets a nice kiss from the 2. Does he go forward and just try and clip the 2 at the same time, or does he even go for this? Problem is, you don't make contact with the 2. I don't know how you hold the cue ball. Wow. That's as good as it gets. I didn't think it was possible.
Tell you what, with this guy, if you walked into a pool room and you saw him play a few shots, you'd think he's no good. You would have the totally incorrect impression. He's completely unorthodox. He's a bundle of nervous energy, but he can knock them in.
better continue to knock them in. He's directly over the 6 here. I think you just level out here. Don't try to do anything crazy. Well, as my friend Phil just said, he can knock him in. Looks to start getting comfortable. What's this gonna do? What's this gonna do? Yeah, it needed another rotation or two. Can he swerve this in? Okay. Back and forth.
I'm his biggest fan. I think he's very, very entertaining. Now, if he whacks in this 8-ball down the rail, good luck to him. Well, he didn't whack it, he stroked it. What a rack.
I love the fact that you're his biggest fan, and I can't wait to tell him.
It seems like a few seconds ago it was 4-0. Now it's 4-3. Forget the shot clock. It is completely and utterly redundant.
Yeah, that's one thing that isn't necessary in this match is the shot clock. Delawder, lightning fast. He's either going to make it or miss it very quickly.
Has he always been the same, Scott, or is this a byproduct of the nerves he's feeling because he's centre stage against a legend?
No, this is how he is, and I think I told Emily earlier. I said I think this is a really good matchup for the TV. Figured there might be some fireworks later on. We'll see, depending on how close this match stays.
As we've said, he's from Orlando, Florida, so we can expect to see him at the Mosconi Cup, which this year is in Orlando, Florida, at the simply sumptuous Carib Royale Resort, not too far from Disney World, November 30th to December 3. And of course, this event will have a big say in who represents both Europe and the USA.
Yeah, Mickey Krause winning the European Open that you just covered, Phil. He's not a lock for the Mosconi Cup, but he's definitely in good standing. Well, that was a nice break. I did like the path of the cue ball, but the 1 continues to come long. He got fortunate there, Phil. The 6 covered the 1 up. What did he do here? Yeah, just catching it a little too thick. I think both the guys are catching the head ball a little too thick.
Earl Strickland nominating the push out, and Delawder coming to the table and almost as quick with his decision making as he is with his cueing.
Yeah, pretty classy shot here. Needs it to go. Well, look at him will it. I don't believe it got there. Body movement starting to dwindle for Delawder. Out of the gate, it was really high. I think just like the adrenaline.
Sitting with a big smile on his face and clearly enjoying this, Mike Delawder, but I don't think Strickland is. He certainly wouldn't be if he was pegged back to level terms.
Well, this was intended right here. He needs that cue ball to stop. He was going at the 9 and a 2-way to play the cue ball up behind the purple. I feel like he can see the edge of the 1 and maybe carom the 9 in, but instead he's gone to the jump cue. 20 seconds left on the clock. He does have an extension. Looking to jump a piece of this and maybe go into the 9. Yeah, that's what he's done.
I thought you hooked me on the floor.
Yeah, and Delawder, this will be memorable for him. No matter what happens, getting to play one of the greatest of all time on the TV table is a special memory, or will be a special memory for Mike Delawder. If you can beat him, well, you may never hear the rest of it. He's cooking, Phil.
The only thing he's done wrong so far, he should have put his mobile phone in his pocket, because he's certainly getting his steps in.
Actually, a pretty smart shot there. Trying to get behind the 8, but he had backup with the 7. I think the 8's got him covered. Yeah, that heart rate is high, as we see Mike. This is going to come out. Does he have a pocket? I don't know, Phil.
Yeah, Strickland gave nothing away as he left the table, did he?
Is he going to the right middle here? Yeah. Pretty risky. All or nothing.
Yeah, exhibition shots are okay in a small supply, but you can't keep going to the well.
Nice clean hit there by Earl Strickland. Like to be somewhere where he is now for the 6. Very well. That shaft looks extremely thin the more I look at it. Chalk down. He's got to go chase it. And he looks to be sore, Phil.
Yes, he bent over very gingerly there, didn't he?
You had to wonder all along, did the chalk going down, well, did it affect the 7 and his timing?
This, you know, is Mike Delawder playing naturally and in an exuberant way. But I just wonder, even though he's not doing it because of who he's playing, he's just playing naturally, will it get under Strickland's skin?
Yeah, it's a good question. And that's not how you get under Earl's skin. You've got to knock that ball down to tie this matchup at 4 apiece, especially when you're trailing 4-0.
You know, they call the 9 ball the bumblebee. Mike Delawder's reaction there when he missed the 9 was as though he'd been stung by a bumblebee.
Yeah, there isn't a doubt there. He missed it by a pretty good margin to the thin side. Unexpected. You know, was that a time where he needed to really collect himself? Take your extension, make sure you knock it in.
This match is very reminiscent to me of a movie golf match. It's a bit like the old Adam Sandler golf film.
Tin Cup.
Not that one, though, the other one.
Happy Gilmore. Yeah.
Happy Gilmore. Mike Delawder's Happy Gilmore, and Earl Strickland is Shooter McGavin.
Well, that was a big game, obviously. Tied up at 4 apiece.
Now, these are the US and Team Europe races to the Mosconi Cup. Already qualified for Europe, the captain, Jason Shaw, and Eklund Kachi, who was runner-up in the World 9-Ball Championship, came within a rack, you could say, came within a scratch of being World 9-Ball champion. So those two are in the team for Europe, the defending champions. As for Team USA, Fedor Gorsh, the World 9-Ball champion, He's so far ahead in the rankings, of course he's qualified. Skylar Woodward is the captain, he's there. Shane Van Boning, whether he qualifies or not automatically, it would be questions in the house if he didn't qualify. But still, there's a lot to play for in terms of that great annual battle.
Does he make an adjustment to catch this thinner? No, he doesn't. There's the 9, though.
Earl Strickland has had a golden career, and in rack 9 it was a golden break.
That's the first time I ever did that. This cup break. That's what I get for missing that 9, Earl.
It's actually the goal.
They do that on me all the time. They make the 9, but I never.
They want to send the cue ball to the long realm, back into the 9.
I can't believe I made that.
Good things can happen, and it did for the Pearl.
He said, that's the first time I've ever done that with this cut break. Is he exaggerating?
Yeah, and here's another look. Off the 6, and then another ball came in. It wasn't the cue ball.
One of those matches that is full of incident, and it's absolutely steaming by.
Well, it never fails, Phil. You miss an easy 9 like Delawder did, and the pool gods, well, they come to punish. Yeah, he's going to need a lot of help if he continues to break like this, just being honest. Timing off there for sure. Seemed to me like he caught the one extremely thin that time. That's how the cue ball is finished low.
So Jeremy Jones was supposed to be commentating on this match, but he's otherwise engaged, and he might well be still out there when the next match begins. It's 3-3 now, Jones and Holger Veer. And even if this one goes the distance, it's not going to take a great amount of time, is it?
No, maybe I'm going to be able to talk him into covering a match or two for me the rest of the week, but I have no problem working with you, Phil. It's a pleasure.
Scott, do not worry. We will get Jeremy back in another way, unless he goes all the way to the title, of course. That would be a little difficult.
What's he got up his sleeve here? I mean, it's pretty nice to just tuck under the 7 and 3. Yeah, not bad at all. Even better if it gets below the purple, and it did. So a huge swing, Phil, when it was 4-3 and Delawder had a chance to tie it up and missed the 9 in the top left.
Yeah, seeing that cue again, which we just did, another pursuit he could maybe take up would be pole vaulting. Now, Strickland just calling John Lehman, the roving referee, over to make sure that the hit is okay.
Yeah, I actually think there was a few words exchanged there.
Mike Delawder, after that shot, said foul, as though we didn't know.
You got a grimace on the face of Mike. Understandably so. Will that 9 ball haunt him for years to come? Or can he get through this? He was down 4-0. Well, you're only down 3 games now. But time is ticking. Literally.
Now, straight in to the centre pocket. On most pool tables, it would be quite an easy task, but these middles are very tight indeed. Stroked that nicely.
Yeah, he looks to be hitting the ball very clean. The break, that's another story. He really needs to work on that break, make the adjustment. If he wants to advance or keep advancing, yeah, pole vaulting is definitely an option with that cue.
Jeremy Jones back in front on table 2, 4-3 over Holger Veer.
I'm just thinking, you just can't, and I don't want to harp on the cue, but you can't feel like all these equipment changes that he's done, the pads, the gloves, the cues, you can't feel like that truly helps him. And I really wish at some point we could see him go back to his normal equipment and see what happens, because he's still got such a great stroke. He's on the 50 here. Yeah, looking to chip the 7 and use the 9. It's going to be too hard. Delawder with a look, but not a good one. Phil, does he play it up in the top left?
I think with him, yes.
Oh, big hit right there. You got to bear down and knock this in. Cue ball going to be coming backwards.
Take stuff.
He said take stuff. Well, it didn't really take, Phil. New cloth. That cue ball just kind of slid off that long rail.
Let's go, Mike.
Let's go, Mike.
I'll tell you what, this guy's a real character. And he's got the game where he can get
Sorry, guys, I was born like this.
opponents ruffled. Look at Earl Strickland not watching any of these histrionics. His opponent loving the main arena. Some players shy away from it. Some players are like shrinking violence. They feel out of place. Clearly not Mike Delawder. He's lording it around.
Yeah, can you imagine if he'd have made that 9? I don't want to harp on it, but boy, Earl, not thrilled now. Could have been a lot worse.
By the way, table 2 where Jeremy Jones is plying his trade at the moment. The next matchup over there will be Fedor Gorsh, the world 9-ball champion, against Nadim Akbani. Gorsh having had a first round bye into action for the first time. That will be over on Matchroom's TikTok. And so far, in terms of where they're going to be playing, oh, look at Strickland now. Look at Strickland now. I can tell you on table 1 next, it's going to be Niels Fine against Roberto Gomez. As for our next match on the main table, it will be Kasper Matikainen against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. Mike Delawder would be well advised to just keep an eye on Strickland and to see that his opponent is maybe going through the ringer a little. It's a crisis point for the 5-time US Open champion.
Yeah, just don't let him fool you, though. I think that's part of his gamesmanship nowadays. Look at how he comes with this shot. 1 second, his hands are in his head, or his head is in his hands, and the next, he's drilling 9-foot shots with inside English. Does he just draw straight back? Punch up? This is a little overcooked. He's dropped the chalk again. I like that hit. Needs it to travel a little. 6 does not play in the top right. Gonna come back and forth, I expect. A little too thin to hold. Yeah, it looks good. It didn't really travel like I thought it would.
Conditions here are excellent, but this table isn't quite as fast as the one we had for the European Open, which was off the charts quick.
Yeah, interesting play there. He knew the cue ball was going to finish somewhere where it is. This is thin. And like Phil said earlier, these side pockets, well, they are definitely not straightforward, very tight. You've got to wonder if he thought about where he was going to finish on this 7. Wow. What a strike by the 63-year-old 5-time champion.
Well, that's certainly a candidate, if not the shot of the day so far for me on this table. Just really unlucky to drop so straight, to get minimal angle on the 8.
Wow, he went rail first there as well. Delawder in the background clapping.
The 8 was good. The 7, simply terrific. That was Earl Strickland at his finest. And now the 3-rack gap is restored at 7-4. Pier Francesco Garzia, an improving player from Italy, beat Sean King 9-2. Nicholas Tan coming through against Bethany Sykes 9-3. Yash Ashmiri 7-3 up on Emil Andre Gangflo. Alvin Angito beating Christian Dimitrov 9-3. We were watching a snippet of the Table 1 action earlier, which you can see all day on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. Corey Jewell on the hill there against Daniel Charlot at 8-2. Lee Van Corteza 8-7 now over Mike Deshane. Francesco Candela on the hill against Mubarak Suleiman Al-Wahibi 8-0. For Wong Nam Pham 6-1 up on Ronaldo Perez. Michael Boanan of the Philippines 4-2 on Cody Booth.
Wow, the 1 very long of the middle this time. I've just come to grips with it that he's not even playing it in the side. Take a look here. A full diamond past the middle pocket. Yeah, a really good hit. You can use the 7 here. Is he going to go with the combo? He's overcut the 2, which overcut the 4. Can't do that with the 5-time Open champion.
Provides his own commentary as well, Earl Strickland. Not the smartest shot I've ever seen, he said. That one, though, I think it's fair to say, makes amends.
Can you get a hit call, please?
Delawder asking for a hit call. The great John Lehman is back. Better than ever. Made a good hit. Did he get away with it? Oh, look at this. Yeah, inexcusable there. Pretty big ball to hit, Phil.
Seemed like a bit of venom went into that one.
Anywhere back out in the center. For the 6, it will play in the top right if he gets to that point. Looking at the 2 now. Shot clock. Wow, he actually hit the 3 with the 2. If it looked a little awkward to you, he just hit the 3 going in, but he did with the object ball. He caught the 7. Ball in hand for the pearl.
It's such a big result, I will give you this mid-rack. Lee Van Cortese had enough in store to beat Mike Delawder 9-7. I'll repeat what I said earlier. What a tough first-round match for both.
Yeah, and Cortese was trailing in that match, I believe 5-2 or 5-3. So he'd like to be right where he is now with the cue ball if he could. For the green 6. And he's going to keep the same line. Now you've got to avoid contact with the black 8. Do you come below the 7 here? Oh, very nice. If this man could break or makes an adjustment on the break, I think he could be a real factor to at least make the final 64.
Yeah, Labutis next, though, will be a very tough hurdle to clear.
Yeah, he's really up against it. He's got to get that break completely figured out. Chose to play that in the side because otherwise he'd have been left awkward on the 8. Oh, wow, he checked it up with an outside ball. Falling perfect on the 9.
What a pearl of a shot from Earl the Pearl, who is now on the hill, doubling up on Mike Delawder. Earl Strickland leads 8-4. He's produced some classy shots in this match, hasn't he, Scott?
Yeah, he's looked really nice overall as far as the technique and the way around the table. Like I said, very concerned about his break. The 1 never threatening the middle pocket.
So when he was Lord of the Manor, when he was the dominant force in the game, where did he stand in terms of breaking then? Was he right at the top of the tree?
Yeah, he had a big break. He had a big break from the box and a big break from the rail. Really early on, I think they all broke from the rail until they started to figure out that breaking from the box was a little more difficult, but the 1 was always on the spot back in the day. And he could really get into him. But back then, Phil, there was none of this cutting the break or controlling the object balls. It was just get down and whack them.
There's the head tucked into the shoulder.
Oh, he's gotten a little flick to send the white off course. It was headed directly towards the top left. Get another look. This break, Phil, just isn't going to get it with these guys out here this day and age.
Well, it was a valiant attempt, but you know after this, or at least you suspect after this, Mike Delawder will be in a spot of bother.
It could have been a lot worse. I think that Earl was trying to really tighten him up 2 rails underneath the 9. He's left quite a bit of space at worst. The jump cue should make for an easy hit. The 3-9 is looming. The 2 right in front of the side. What's going to happen here? I don't know, Phil, if the 8 got him or not. I don't believe it has. And there you can see plenty of room. There is some traffic to contend with. He wants to play the 2 in the right middle. Oh, well, look at that. He's split the gap between the 3 and 8. Probably going to be an early rack. Looking at the 3-9 combination.
The break hasn't functioned. But apart from that, I think the general play of Earl Strickland has been eye-catching.
There you have it. Strickland with the 9, Phil.
Yeah, he had a golden break. He had a combo to finish. And just one thought, you know, he's 63 years of age, Earl Strickland. But in 1978, Fred Davis got to the semi-final of the World Snooker Championship when he was 64. So don't write this man off yet. But clearly, improvements, big, radical improvements, need to be made in terms of his break-off. Anyway, here, the scoreline reads, Earl Strickland 9, Mike Delawder 4. Next up, we're going to see Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, former champion here, and indeed of the world. FSR will be in action on the main table next in around 5 minutes' time.